Do you ever walk into a room and suddenly forget why you're there? Or stop mid-sentence, searching for a name you know like your own? It happens to everyone, but after 75, those little lapses start to feel different. Not just frustrating, but frightening. You start to wonder, is this just normal aging? Or is my mind slipping away? If you've ever felt that flicker of fear, you're not alone. In fact, you're exactly who this message is for. But before we go any further, I'd love to know, where are you watching from today? Drop it in the comments. And if this resonates with you, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. You help us keep this space alive, a space for elderly reflections, senior health, and life lessons that come from truth, not fear. Now, let's talk about your brain. Because while the body may slow down with age, the mind doesn't have to. Yes, gray matter shrinks. Yes, blood flow reduces. Yes, some connections fire slower. But decline is not destiny. There are things you can do, real, practical things, to stay sharp, focused, and mentally strong, even into your 80s, 90s, and beyond. And today, we're going to talk about 5 of them. But first, Walter. Walter is 78. A retired teacher. Loved by his students. Known for his wit and warmth. But now, he rereads the same line 3 times. He tells the same story at dinner, then tells it again 10 minutes later. The worst part? He knows it's happening. It feels like I'm chasing my own thoughts, he told me. Like I'm watching my mind walk away, and I can't catch up. That moment? It broke my heart. Because Walter isn't alone. Every day, millions of seniors silently struggle with these little slips. And most think there's nothing they can do. But here's the truth. You can train your brain. You can protect it. And yes, you can even grow it. Let's start with the first habit. Habit 1, learn something new every single day. No, I'm not asking you to go back to school or chase degrees. I'm talking about curiosity. Daily, deliberate curiosity. Eleanor is 82. Lives in Michigan. Every morning, she makes coffee, opens her laptop, and watches a 5-minute documentary. Some days it's about volcanoes. Other days, sea turtles. I just want to be surprised by the world, she told me. That's it. That's the key. Because when your brain learns something new, it builds new connections. Real, biological pathways. Researchers at the University of Texas found that seniors who engaged in mentally demanding activities, like digital photography or quilting, showed significant improvements in memory and attention. Why? Because novelty challenges the brain. And challenge keeps it young. So start simple. Learn a new word in a different language. Ask your grandchild to teach you something from the internet. Read a new recipe. Study a map. Watch a clip on ancient Egypt. Feed your mind something it's never tasted before. Because curiosity is youth. And you, my friend, are still very much alive. Let's move on. Habit 2. Move your body, move your mind. You've heard it 100 times. Exercise is good for you. But let me say it differently. Your brain is not just sitting in your head doing crossword puzzles. It's connected to your whole body. Every step you take, every stretch you make, it's fuel for your brain. Why? Because when you move, your heart pumps harder. That fresh blood brings oxygen and nutrients to your brain. It clears the fog. It lights things up. But there's something even more incredible. Harvard scientists found that aerobic activity, like brisk walking, actually grows the hippocampus. That's the part of your brain responsible for memory. It's also one of the first parts to shrink in Alzheimer's. So imagine that, walking, as a way to fight memory loss. Bill is 77. He walks 20 minutes every night after dinner. Nothing fast. Nothing fancy. He calls it his brain walk. He says, I sleep better. Think clearer. I even remember numbers now. So no, you don't have to join a gym. Just walk. Dance in the kitchen. Stretch while the coffee brews. Swing your arms when the music plays. Movement is medicine. And it's never too late to take the first dose. Let's continue. Habit 3, feed your brain, both with food and with focus. First, let's talk food. Because your brain? It's hungry. And it's picky. It wants omega-3s. Antioxidants. B vitamins. That means salmon, blueberries, spinach, a little bit of dark chocolate, yes, that too. It does not want sugary snacks, processed meals, or anything that spikes your blood sugar and crashes your clarity. But just as important as what you feed your body is what you feed your mind. What are you watching every day? What kind of conversations are you allowing? Are you filling your thoughts with fear or with strength? Sarah is 80. Used to watch the news every night until she noticed it left her anxious and exhausted. Now, she watches stories of resilience. Grandmothers who've started businesses at 76. Stroke survivors who dance. Veterans who write poetry. She told me, I want to fill my mind with people who kept going. Because I want to keep going. That's a choice. That's a habit. And it's one you can make today. So take a moment right now. Think about what you're consuming. On your plate. On your screen. In your thoughts. And ask yourself, is this making me sharper? Or making me smaller? Because your brain listens to everything you give it. So give it something worth growing from. Take a deep breath with me. In and out. That's your brain saying thank you. You've just learned 3 powerful, science-backed ways to stay mentally strong after 7.
Now that we've talked about the importance of staying curious, moving daily, and being mindful of what you feed your brain, both on your plate and through your thoughts, let's keep going. Because what happens to your brain after 75 isn't just about biology. It's about behavior. About habits. And sometimes, it's about what you believe about yourself. Let me share something with you that most people don't realize. The 4th habit that keeps the brain sharp after 75 is talking out loud, regularly, with purpose. I know, that sounds too simple, doesn't it? But conversation is one of the most powerful brain exercises there is. When you talk, you recall words, you form ideas, you adjust to another person's pace, emotions, and responses. It's a full brain workout. And it's one we're doing less and less. Here's the thing. After 75, a lot of people experience what's called social shrinking. Friends move. Family gets busy. Conversations get shorter. The phone rings less often. Days can go by without deep dialogue. In the silence, it's not peaceful anymore. It's damaging. Take Leonard, 79, a widower who spent months barely speaking beyond a quick hello at the grocery store. Over time, he started feeling foggy. Forgetting simple things. His daughter, worried, suggested he join a local storytelling group at the senior center. Reluctantly, he went. And something amazing happened. Leonard began talking again. Not just chit-chat. Real stories. Conversations about his childhood, his beliefs, his life. And slowly, his memory improved. His alertness came back. Even his posture straightened. Why? Because he was using his voice, and that activated his brain. You don't have to join a group to do this. Start simple. Call someone. Share a story from your past. Read a passage from a book aloud. Even talking to yourself, yes, talking out loud to yourself, can help clarify your thoughts and sharpen your focus. Language is not just communication. It's cognition. Don't lose it. Use it. And now, let's go deeper. The 5th and final habit I want to share with you is purpose. This one might surprise you, but it's probably the most powerful. After 75, many people start to feel like they're in the final chapter of their life. And when that happens, they sometimes stop writing the story. They drift. They say things like, "Well, I've lived my life. Now I'm just waiting." But let me tell you something, with full honesty and love, the brain needs a reason to stay alive. A goal. A duty. A person to love. A project to finish. A lesson to teach. Something. There's real science behind this. A long-term study by Rush University Medical Center found that seniors, with a strong sense of purpose in life, were more than twice as likely to avoid Alzheimer's disease, even if their brains showed signs of the disease during autopsy. Purpose literally protects the mind. So what does that mean for you? It doesn't have to be dramatic. You don't have to start a foundation or write a book. Maybe your purpose is as small and sacred as keeping your garden alive, helping your grandchild learn to read, passing on family stories, showing up every Sunday to make someone feel seen at church. Even your pet, yes, that dog you walk every morning, that's purpose. I want to tell you about Elena. She's 83, lives alone in a small town. She doesn't drive anymore, doesn't get out much. But every day, she writes one letter. Just one. To her children, her friends, sometimes even strangers. She calls it her wisdom letters. She said to me once, "As long as I'm writing, I'm thinking. As long as I'm thinking, I'm alive." That's what purpose does. It keeps the mind lit from within. So let me ask you, what gives your day meaning? What makes you feel needed, useful, alive? It doesn't have to impress anyone. It just has to matter to you. And don't let anyone, not even your own doubts, convince you that your purpose ended when you retired, or when your kids moved out, or when the world got quieter. Because if you're still breathing, your story isn't finished. And your brain is waiting to be part of that story. Let's pause for a moment. We've now talked about 5 habits that truly make a difference in how your brain functions after 75. Learning something new daily. Moving your body, even just a little. Feeding your brain with the right nutrients and thoughts. Speaking and connecting with others, keeping language alive. And most of all, living with purpose, however quiet or personal it may be. If any of these habits spoke to you today, if one made you think, "That's something I want to start," leave a comment and tell me which one. Or better yet, tell me your age and what your purpose is right now. I promise, someone else will read it and feel inspired. And if this message has touched you, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We're building a space for elderly wisdom, reflection, and real-life motivation. Your voice matters here. And once again, tell me, where are you watching from today? I love seeing this little family of thoughtful seniors, all around the world, lifting each other up. You've made it this far. That already says a lot about who you are. There's a quiet dignity that comes with age. After 75, you've seen enough life to know that what matters most isn't always what's loudest, but what stays with you when the room is quiet. And the most beautiful thing? Your brain still wants to grow. It still wants to hold on to joy, meaning, and clarity. You just have to give it the chance. Let's go deeper into what really happens to your brain as you age, and how you can continue to protect it, not just with habits, but with how you live. See, by now you've probably felt some of the small changes that come with getting older. You might misplace your keys, lose a word mid-sentence, or walk into a room and forget why. These moments can feel like cracks in your confidence. But they're also normal. What's not normal, and what we need to protect against, is the slide into isolation, inactivity, and silence. Because those are the real enemies of the aging brain. The human mind was never meant to shrink in solitude. It was meant to stretch, in love, in laughter, in shared stories. Let me tell you about James, a 76-year-old former jazz musician in Chicago. He once played trumpet in smoky clubs, filled with energy and rhythm. But after retiring and losing his wife, he found himself alone most days. The music stopped, not just on the stage, but in his head. He said, "It's like my thoughts don't dance anymore." Then one day, he dug his old trumpet out of the closet. He couldn't hit the notes like before, but the memory in his fingers was still there. Slowly, the music came back. And with it, his spirit. What brought James back wasn't just a hobby. It was a return to himself. And that's something we often forget. Your brain holds on to who you were. And reconnecting with that version of you, whether it's through music, painting, building, storytelling, can reignite the parts of your brain that have been asleep. There's a term researchers use: cognitive reserve. It refers to the brain's ability to adapt and reroute even when some areas decline. People with higher cognitive reserve can show fewer symptoms of memory loss, even if their brain shows signs of aging. How do you build it? Through lifelong learning, meaningful activity, and deep emotional connection. So yes, read the book. But also write one. Yes, listen to music. But also sing along. Yes, remember your past. But also create something today that your future self will thank you for. And let's not forget another vital part of this conversation: emotions. After 75, emotional well-being becomes inseparable from brain health. Stress, loneliness, regret, they don't just weigh on the heart. They chip away at the mind. You ever notice how some older people seem sharp, joyful, fully present, while others fade quickly, even if they're physically healthy? The difference often lies in how they feel about life. Do they still laugh? Do they feel seen? Do they still have a reason to get out of bed in the morning? Let me share something powerful with you. Studies have found that loneliness increases the risk of dementia by nearly 40%. 40%. Not because of magic, but because the brain needs connection to survive. You are not a machine. You are a story. And stories must be told, shared, remembered. So reach out to someone today. Call a friend, send a voice message, visit the neighbor. Not just for them, but for you. If you don't feel like you have someone to talk to, start by speaking to yourself with kindness. Write in a journal. Record your memories. Leave behind the wisdom only you carry. Because I'll tell you this, from all the elders I've met, all the life stories I've heard, it's never the wrinkles or the aches that people regret most. It's the silence. The moments not spoken. The memories not passed down. The reflections not shared. That's why this channel exists. To give space for elderly wisdom. To hold the reflections of those who've lived, loved, lost, and learned. Your voice matters here. So as we close this journey together, I want to remind you of something. Your brain, after 75, is still capable of joy. Of laughter. Of remembering the name of a flower, the taste of childhood jam, the face of someone long gone but never forgotten. You can still protect it. With movement. With purpose. With stories. With love. Let your days stretch your mind. Let your conversations awaken it. Let your reflections give it peace. Because your thoughts, your wisdom, they're still needed. If you've made it to this part of the video, I want to say thank you. Truly. You're part of something bigger than a YouTube channel. You're part of a movement that honors experience, celebrates resilience, and uplifts the soul at any age. Please like this video if it spoke to you. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new reflections. And tell me in the comments, what is one thing you do each day that keeps your mind alive? And of course, where are you watching from? I read every comment, and each one reminds me why this work matters. Here's to your strength. Here's to your clarity. And here's to living with a sharp, inspired mind, no matter what the calendar says. We'll see you in the next video. Take good care.